Hi, everybody. Nice to see you all, and very happy to be here at Paris with you. My name is Daniel Fogg. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Rootstock Labs. Rootstock Labs were the developers and key contributors to the Rootstock blockchain and are designers and builders of Rift technology. Our purpose at Rootstock Labs is to make Bitcoin work for everyone. We believe that the unparalleled security and decentralization of Bitcoin is going to make it critical infrastructure in the global economy and a vital component in the future of humanity. I think, as you've probably all seen, it's been a very big year for Bitcoin already, and we're only 3 months in. 10 Bitcoin ETFs approved, tens of billions of dollars worth of new capital flowing into the market. We've seen nation-state adoption from El Salvador, which everybody knows, but also now Argentina, that is accepting contract settlement in Bitcoin as well. The halving is just around the corner, maybe on the 20th of April, seeing a reduction in supply and therefore an increase in demand, and we are expecting a continuation of the price run-up that we've seen so far. And the really exciting thing, and something a bit close to what I'd like to talk to you about today, is that we have new use cases coming to Bitcoin as well. Ordinals is fast becoming one of the hottest NFT projects in blockchain. That's native to Bitcoin, and BRC20 tokens are allowing new things to be built on the network. Why this matters is that many of you that have been in the sector for a while will know about the classic blockchain trilemma, which is that it's easy to build for two components of the blockchain trilemma, scalability and security perhaps, but then suffer decentralization. And with Bitcoin, this is also true. Bitcoin is by far the most secure decentralized protocol out there, and yet scalability is an issue. And we think that Bitcoin, while it's an incredible store of value and means of value transfer, you need a lot more than that to build a functioning economy. You need more than just money. At Rootstock Labs, we talk a lot about everyday DeFi, payments, lending, borrowing, and saving, the everyday use cases that consumers use in finance all the time. And then obviously beyond that, real-world assets. So Bitcoin is incredible, but it is only decentralized money at this stage. And so we need something more. So I'd like to take you back a little bit to some cypherpunks who were meeting in Argentina in 2013. They were meeting in a context where their parents and grandparents had seen their savings disappear after decades of economic mismanagement. Unfortunately, some of that has been continuing ever since then, but it's within this economic context that a group of people decided that they needed to do something slightly different. They believed that a combination of both Bitcoin and Ethereum was the answer, taking the security and store of value of Bitcoin and the smart contract capabilities of Ethereum. And this is where Rootstock comes in. Rootstock is the largest and longest running Bitcoin sidechain and was the first Bitcoin sidechain to ever be publicly launched. A Bitcoin sidechain is actually something that was originally conceived of by Satoshi Nakamoto and was theoretical until Rootstock, formerly known as RSK, was launched. So what is a Bitcoin sidechain and why does it matter? So Rootstock was the first what is now referred to as Bitcoin L2, and there are 3 components that we believe are important to be considered a Bitcoin sidechain. They are cryptographic, economic, and monetary alignment with Bitcoin. So firstly, Rootstock is merge-mined with Bitcoin, which means there's a deep cryptographic alignment and connection hashing Rootstock onto the Bitcoin main chain. This reuses Bitcoin's hash rate. Second is that in Rootstock, Bitcoin is king. There is no competing money token. There was no pre-mined alternative token. Bitcoin is native to Rootstock. And finally, there is economic alignment between Rootstock and the Bitcoin miners. The Bitcoin miners receive rewards from Rootstock, and they are aligned in supporting its growth. And so this is really what Rootstock is. It's the security and store of value of Bitcoin with the programmability of an Ethereum virtual machine. Originally designed in 2015, launched in 2018, and has now been live for over 6 years. I think one of the things that when people first hear about Rootstock, and maybe, like I said, some of you will know of RSK historically, find surprising is that 57% of the hash rate of the entire Bitcoin blockchain is being used to secure Rootstock. This allows us to make the claim as Rootstock contributors that Rootstock is the second most secure smart contract platform on the planet. It also means that one of the reasons we wanted to use Rootstock to scale Bitcoin is to get away from the slow block times. So Rootstock today has 28-second block times, and we have an innovation called micro proof of work, which is launching later this year, which will bring that down to 5 seconds. There are over 109 different protocols and partners live on the network today, and one of the things that I'm super excited about with our work at Rootstock Labs is that that's a 25% increase in the last 2 months alone. There is a huge amount of interest in Bitcoin L2s at the moment, and Rootstock is capturing a huge amount of it. In the two-way peg, which bridges Bitcoin to Rootstock, there is nearly 3,000 Bitcoins locked. The peg has never gone down, it's never been hacked, there have never been any exploits in the 6.5 years that it's been up and running. And wider than the Bitcoin, there is over $250 million worth of native value locked in DeFi on the network today, and this is all publicly attestable. You can see this on DeFi Llama. There is an ecosystem being built on Bitcoin as well. So today on Rootstock, you have some of the best hardware wallets, Ledger and Trezor available. You can use Uniswap on Rootstock. We have a full DeFi platform through Sovereign. There's a whole range of different developer tools and institutional tools, from Fireblocks allowing you access to Rootstock tokens, all the way through to GetBlock and NowNode, which make it easier for developers to get their hands on the technology. And then also, from a payments perspective, one of the things we're extremely excited about is working with partners in Latin America to do international remittances and cross-border flows on Bitcoin using Rootstock. So the message here is that there is already a growing ecosystem on Bitcoin, and it's being built on Rootstock, and developers can get their hands on a lot of the tools and start building today. While we were the first Bitcoin L2, I'm very happy to say it's now a much larger market. Many of the mature Bitcoin layers, like Stacks, Lightning, and Liquid, have been around like Rootstock for some time. But unlike Ethereum L2s, Bitcoin L2s all have slightly different characteristics. Some of these layers are great for payments, of course, like Lightning. Other platforms like Stacks, which is building out a great community, has a strength in NFTs. But over the last 6 to 12 months, we've seen a lot of new entrants as well, who are using a combination of BitVM technology to try and build roll-ups onto Bitcoin. This is super exciting, and it's led to an increase in both capital allocation into projects and also developers moving into Bitcoin as well. So according to Electric Capital, 40% of all developers working in Bitcoin are now working on Bitcoin L2s, not the main chain or not in custodial Bitcoin platforms or Bitcoin wallets. So what I'd love to do with you today over the next 10 minutes is talk you through some of the stuff that's happening on Rootstock right now and what's coming this year. For a long time at Rootstock Labs, we've been quietly building in the background, focusing on the technology. And I think in the years ahead, we're going to be a lot more vocal in some of the amazing work that's being built on Rootstock. And so I'd like to share, for the first time here with you in Paris today, what that looks like. So we believe very strongly that Rootstock is the best place to build on Bitcoin. And here's 3 things that we're going to be doing over the next 12 months to make sure that remains the case. So firstly, we want to make sure that all the great tools that are available to developers on Ethereum are now coming to Bitcoin via Rootstock. And I've got an announcement I'm going to share with you shortly about that. We think that it should be as easy to spin up a project, launch a dApp, write a smart contract on Ethereum as it is on Bitcoin. And so Rootstock as an EVM allows that. The second thing is obviously as long players in the Bitcoin space, again, the network's been live now for over 6.5 years, we think a deep alignment with Bitcoin is extremely important to the Rootstock community. And that's why with the Taproot Asset Bridge, which is going live in the next 4 months, as well as the Lightning interoperability and Lightning swaps we'll be bringing to Rootstock through LBT, RBTC swaps, is something that's going to allow people to move seamlessly between the different Bitcoin layers. And then finally, later in the year, we're going to be announcing some really exciting work to put grants, rewards, and a lot more decision-making about the direction of the Rootstock network into the hands of the community. So anybody in this room and anyone in the world can participate in the governance and the benefits of building on Bitcoin. And so super excited to announce to you all today that we've brought 2 of the largest Ethereum developer tools over to Rootstock. So in the coming months, both Gelato and the Graph are going to be coming to Rootstock, allowing protocols who want to build on Rootstock to spin up smart contracts super quickly and get what is widely considered as the best indexing tool available. So it's great to see Gelato and the Graph coming to the Rootstock ecosystem. And like I said, this is just a sign of more to come and the excitement that people have for building on Bitcoin. Second thing I wanted to share with you is that at Rootstock Labs, building out an ecosystem, there's a phrase that we think about quite a lot in our work, which is that you can fork a protocol, but you can't fork an ecosystem. Building ecosystems is hard, it takes a lot of time, it takes energy, it takes focus, it takes many years, and it takes capital. And so at Rootstock Labs, it's absolutely core to our work to build out this ecosystem around Rootstock. So what we have coming up between 2023 and 2024, we've allocated over $5 million in grant programs for any project, no matter how small or how large, to build on Rootstock. So I'll give you an example. So we're bringing small new projects that are bringing social media tools to Bitcoin, receiving $5,000, $10,000 grants. Just an idea, just a presentation. We want to see if it can work. All the way up to bringing Uniswap to Bitcoin via Rootstock. We issued a $150,000 grant some months ago to achieve this. So there's a broad range. So I'd encourage anybody who wants to get some capital to try and build on Bitcoin to come and speak to one of the Rootstock Labs team. Another thing we're focused on is to make sure that all of the tier one decentralized exchanges, bridges, and liquidity aggregators are coming to Bitcoin. Bitcoin for a long time has been, as I said, a store of value, a payments mechanism, and now there's NFT markets available as well. But we think the full suite of decentralized finance tools should be coming to Bitcoin, and we're going to be enabling that through the partnerships that we're doing at the moment. And then finally, we see our role as starting to convene the global community of Bitcoin builders. So we're going to be present at as many locations and as many sites as possible over the coming year to make sure all of the people starting to experiment with building on Bitcoin do so in collaboration with Rootstock and the wider Bitcoin community. So very excited to announce here that we are going to be bringing both Axelar, one of the world's leading bridges, to Rootstock, along with Li-Fi, one of the largest multi-chain liquidity providers in the blockchain space. This is going to allow Rootstock to bridge into some of the largest layer 1 protocols in the world to allow liquidity to flow between Bitcoin and other Ethereum virtual machines, and we're super excited about this. This is unlocking a huge amount of capital and liquidity that can now move seamlessly across chain, but it's also allowing new projects to build things that weren't possible before on Bitcoin because of these linkages to other Bitcoin layer 1s. Sorry, blockchain layer 1s. And finally, and in some ways this is the most exciting, for those that have been following along with the Bitcoin L2 space in recent months, you'll be aware that there's been a breakthrough innovation in BitVM. One of the reasons BitVM is so exciting is it allows potentially an optimistic rollup to be launched with a connection to Bitcoin. And we believe that this technology has some challenges, and we're going to be working on a next generation version of BitVM architecture to use BitVM to create a permissionless Bitcoin bridge. This will be connected into the largest Bitcoin L2 in the world, which is Rootstock, and potentially demonstrating the power of BitVM at scale. We also are not going to stop innovating around the existing Rootstock Bitcoin bridge, which is called the two-way peg. We're going to be bringing SegWit-compatible proof-of-work HSM modules to Rootstock this year, upgrading from 9 pegnatories to over 66. So 66 different actors that are able to secure the transactions between Rootstock and Bitcoin. This will mean that with the combination of BitVM and the existing two-way peg, there'll be 2 alternative bridges connecting Bitcoin to the wider world. And then finally, we are obviously in a bull market, and there's a lot of excitement about what's going on in Bitcoin L2s. But at Rootstock Labs, we never take our eye off the final purpose of our organization, and frankly, the purpose of many blockchain organizations, which is to build a new financial ecosystem in the world. We have, in coming months, signed a number of agreements to enable remittance partners who are building on Rootstock to bring over 300,000 transactions, cross-border transactions in Latin America, people making everyday remittance flows, taking their salary and sending it back home to their family on a regular basis. And these remittance flows are now live on Rootstock. They started a couple of months ago, and we're super excited about how these everyday DeFi use cases are now coming to Bitcoin as well. So in expanding the frontiers of decentralized technology, at Rootstock Labs, we are not going to stop. And so this announcement about BitVM means that Rootstock Labs is now formally in the race. We're going to be putting $4 million worth of investment into this new parallel bridge. We have a brand new proposal to improve the BitVM design, which we're going to be publishing along with our white paper for both the new proposal to improve BitVM and the new bridging Bitcoin and Rootstock. And we've been launching this white paper in May. Super excited about this, and we hope we can contribute to the evolution of BitVM for all the other Bitcoin L2s that are out there. So to come back to the blockchain trilemma, there are three things which have to be taken into consideration whenever you're scaling a blockchain, whenever you're designing a blockchain, whether it's scalability, security, and decentralization. The challenges with Bitcoin, while it's the most secure and most decentralized blockchain out there, scalability remains a problem. And we think that Rootstock will enable Bitcoin to reach civilization scale. It's an EVM. You can launch anything that launches on any EVM on Rootstock, anchored into the Bitcoin main chain. And we're super excited to be talking to builders and talking to people all across the crypto ecosystem. If you're around here over the next 2 days, please come and talk to us. Super excited to be talking to developers who want to build on Bitcoin and build on Bitcoin today. Thanks very much. Come and say hello to me after the talk. It's been great presenting to you all. I hope you have a fantastic week.